All right, let's talk about something that's quietly derailing a ton of AI projects out there. It's a problem called the vibe coding trap.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever seen this? You've got this brilliant AI demo. Maybe you even built it yourself over a weekend, and it looks perfect. But then you push it to production, and bam, 2 days later, it just completely falls apart. What is going on there?
Well, there's a name for this whole phenomenon. It's called the 48-hour mirage, because that's exactly what it is. It looks real, it feels incredibly powerful, but as soon as it hits any real-world pressure, it just dissolves.
And this really gets to the heart of the paradox of building with AI right now, doesn't it? I mean, on one hand, it has literally never been easier to spin up a working prototype. But on the other hand, it feels like it's never been harder to actually ship a reliable, production-ready AI product, something you can actually trust. Okay, so what's the root cause here? It all comes down to this idea of vibe coding. And what is that? Well, it's basically when you use natural language to quickly get a prototype working. You're not using a strict blueprint, you're just kind of coding based on a vibe. And look, that's awesome for getting a demo off the ground fast. But the problem is, it builds this super fragile foundation that just shatters when it meets real-world complexity. And when that vibe starts to drift, the consequences can be, well, they can be really severe. We're not talking about tiny little bugs here. We're talking about an AI agent that misses a critical business rule, or hallucinates a completely wrong medical dosage, which is terrifying, or just completely botches a super important customer interaction. This is where those amazing demos go to die. So what's the usual answer you hear for this? Oh, don't worry, GPT-5 will fix it, right? Just wait for the next, better model. Well, that kind of thinking leads you straight into something called the Layer 1 trap. Yeah, the common belief is that a bigger, more powerful base model, the foundational LLM, that it's just going to magically solve all our reliability problems. But the 2026 reality? The model is just the engine. It's becoming a commodity. Super powerful, for sure, but generic. The raw intelligence isn't actually the bottleneck anymore. I love this analogy because it just hits the nail on the head. Relying only on the model's raw power is like hiring a brilliant high school graduate, like a total genius, and then expecting them to run your ophthalmology clinic on day one. I mean, they have the raw intelligence, no doubt, but they have zero training, no context, none of the professional judgment you need to do that job right. And that's the whole point, right? The intelligence is there. What's missing is the system architecture, the structure, the guardrails, all the stuff that turns that raw talent into real, reliable expertise. Okay, so if a lack of architecture is the problem, then the solution is to build one. And that brings us to this really cool concept called AI Gaji. It's all about architecting a specific instructional layer for your AI. Let's break down the AI stack into 3 layers, okay? So layer 1, that's your engine. That's the base LLM, providing all that general intelligence. Then you have layer 2, which we can think of as the librarian. This is your infrastructure, your memory, like RAG, and all your tools. But, and this is the key, the real magic happens at layer 3, the super fine-tuning loop. This is this brand new instructional layer, and it's where AI Gaji lives. So what exactly is AI Gogi? Well, the best way to think about it is as a bridge. It's the bridge between the raw engine at layer 1 and the deep knowledge of a human expert. It's a system that's literally designed to hard code professional intuition. And how do we do this? Through a process called super fine-tuning. Now this is super important. This is not the same as traditional expensive fine-tuning where you're changing the model's weights. No way. This all happens at the application layer. You're using things like instructional scaffolding and correction ledgers to hard code that expert judgment right into the system's execution logic. You're shaping its behavior, not its brain. And the result? It's a total game changer. You go from a polite chatbot to a surgically precise specialist. You're not just crossing your fingers and hoping the AI gets it right anymore. You're actually architecting a system that guides it to the correct outcome, basically turning it into a clone of your best expert. So what all this means is that we're entering a totally new phase. This is the future of applied AI. We are officially moving into what we can call the architecture era. And that means one thing. The era of vibe coding is over. Look, it was fun, it was a necessary step to get us here, but it's just not going to cut it for building the kinds of reliable, professional-grade AI systems the future demands. Actually, here's a better way to think about it. Vibe coding is the new technical debt. It's that shortcut that feels super fast and easy right now, but you just know it's going to create massive headaches down the road. You're going to have to pay it all back with interest.
So when we look ahead, say, to 2027, the winners in AI are not going to be the folks with the best prompts. Nope. The winners are going to be the ones with the best pedagogy, the ones who have the best systems for teaching and guiding their AI. And it all comes down to this one final, powerful idea. We have to stop asking our AI to just be better. Instead, we need to start architecting a system around it that, by its very design, simply can't be wrong.